Jewish historian Flavius Josephus mentioned John the Baptist, King Herod, Pilate, Ananias the high priest, James the brother of Jesus, and most importantly, Jesus in his writings. Antiquities, Book 18, Chapter 3, Paragraph 3. Now there was about this time Jesus, a wise man, if it be lawful to call him a man. For he was a doer of wonderful works, a teacher of such men as received the truth with pleasure. He drew over to him both many of the Jews and many of the Gentiles. He was the Christ. And when Pilate, at the suggestion of the principal men amongst us, had condemned him to the cross, those who loved him at the first did not forsake him, for he appeared to them alive again at the third day, as the divine prophets had foretold these, and 10,000 other wonderful things concerning him. And the tribe of Christians, so named from him, are not extinct at this day. As a historian, Josephus recognized that Jesus was more than just a mere man or good teacher. He recognized that he was the Son of God. I will analyze and respond to this statement. Jesus was a good man and a good teacher, but certainly not the Son of God. I will analyze and respond to this statement in three main points: the fulfillment of prophecies, Jesus' words, and Jesus' resurrection. Let's look at my first point, the fulfillment of prophecies. Now, in the Old Testament, there are over 60 prophecies that talk about the Messiah who would redeem the Jewish nation. Some of these include the place that he would be born, that he would be a king from the line of David, and that he would suffer for the people. Let's look at a couple of prophecies that talk about the sufferings of the Messiah. Psalm 22 is an entire chapter that foretells of the Messiah's sufferings. And there's an interesting verse in there, Psalm 22, verse 16. It says, "They pierced my hands and my feet." This was written 300 years before crucifixion was invented as a form of torture. It was foretelling how the Messiah would die. Isaiah 53 verse 5 also speaks of the Messiah's sufferings. It says, "But he was wounded for our transgressions. He was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes we are healed." The fulfillment of this prophecy can be found in 1 Peter 2 verse 24, speaking of Jesus, who himself, his own self bare our sins in his own body on the tree, that we, being dead to sins, should live unto righteousness, by whose stripes ye were healed. Now, during Jesus' lifetime on earth and his death, he fulfilled every single prophecy, numbering over 60. The odds of one man fulfilling all of these prophecies has been determined to be mathematically impossible, but Jesus did, showing that he was not just a mere man or good teacher, that he was the Son of God. My second point is Jesus' words. Jesus' own words during his earthly ministry demonstrate that he was not merely a good man and a good teacher. In John 14, verse 6, Jesus said, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me." Jesus was clearly saying that he was not just a good teacher. He clearly said that he was the only way to God. In John 8, verse 58, Jesus said, "Verily, verily, I say unto you, before Abraham was, I am." Jesus is not only stating here that he is the Son of God, but that he is also equal with God, that he was before Abraham. Now, these were very radical statements that Jesus was making. If Jesus was merely a good man and a good teacher, he would not have made such radical claims, claiming to be the only way to God and to be equal with God. Why did the Jewish leaders hate him? Why did they want to kill him and eventually did succeed in crucifying him? Was it because he was simply a good moral teacher? No. It was because he claimed to be the Son of God. Jesus performed many miracles during his earthly ministry and said many things proving or claiming that he was the Son of God. But the ultimate test as to his being the Son of God was, would he rise from the dead on the third day, as he said he would? And this brings me to my third and final point, Jesus' resurrection. The Apostle Paul wrote in 1 Corinthians 15, verses 3 and 4, "For I delivered unto you, first of all, that which I also received, how that Christ died for our sins according to the Scriptures, and that he was buried, and that he rose again the third day according to the Scriptures." Now, Paul goes on in the following verses to speak of the many people that witnessed Jesus Christ as the risen Lord, numbering over 500 people in all, including the disciples. So this is the ultimate proof that Jesus was not just a mere man, a good man and a good teacher, that he was what he claimed to be, the Son of God. So we've seen that this statement, Jesus was a good man and a good teacher, but certainly not the Son of God, is false. We've seen this through the fulfillment of biblical prophecies, Jesus' words, and Jesus' resurrection. I would like to close with a quote from C.S. Lewis. He talks about Jesus being the Son of God. C.S. Lewis said, "A man who is merely a man and said the sort of things Jesus said would not be a great moral teacher. He would either be a lunatic or else he would be the devil of hell. You must make your choice. Either this man was and is the Son of God, or else a madman or something worse. You can shut him up for a fool, you can spit at him and kill him as a demon, or you can fall at his feet and call him Lord and God. But let us not come with any patronizing nonsense about his being a great human teacher. He has not left that open to us. He did not intend to.